Hi class, it's Wednesday, April 8th, and today in math we're going to be using 10 frames to help us do some mental math. You might have 10 frame cards at home, that's what I'm going to use for my demonstration, but you could certainly use regular playing cards to create your equations and then do what I did, which is right here. I drew a bunch of 10 frames that I can manipulate. That means I'm going to draw in them and I'm going to move numbers around and I'm going to quickly do 2 more at the bottom. For each question, you're going to want 2 10 frames to manipulate and draw and fill in. So every time I make a question, I want one 10 frame for the first number and one 10 frame for the second number. But I'm going to show you how I can subtract with 10 frames using what I know about 10 frames, and I can maybe picture them in my head. So my first question has a 3 and a 1. Now if I want to take 1 away from 3, all I have to do is imagine that this one is the one I'm taking away, and how many would I have left? 2 of them. So if I wanted to draw that, I would have 3 10 frames, and I want to take 1 away. Guess I don't need 2 10 frames for that question. So I have only 2 left over. My question then would be 3 take away 1 equals 2. We have some pages in our work Math by Myself, Blue Duotang, that look just like this, but you're drawing your own 10 frames. My next question has the number 8 and the number 5. If I'm imagining a 10 frame in my head, I would imagine 8, and then I would imagine that I cover up 5 of them, and I know right away that 8 take away 5 equals 3. If I'm drawing that on my 10 frame, I could do 8 circles. I'm going to use another color to cross them out so that I can see very clearly. I'm crossing out 5, so I'm not going to start on this little loose 3. I'm going to cross the whole 5 row at the top that I know is out, and I'm going to do that imaginarily in my head so that I can get the answer. We're going to do 3 more, my friends, and the last 2 we're going to do with numbers above 10. So my next number has a 6 and it has a 10. Now I can't take 10 away from 6, so I would imagine my biggest 10 frame number, and I would imagine I took 6 of them away. How many are left over? So then my question becomes 10 take away 6 equals 4. And if you were drawing it, it would look just like this. You fill a whole 10 frame. Remember, the biggest number always goes first in subtraction. And then you would cross out 4. I like to cross out the bottom as I'm counting backwards because my brain understands 10 frames. 5 and 5 equals 10, which means this would be the number 10 box. So I would cross off working backwards, and it helps my brain see, oh look, that's the 6 10 frame I have a picture of in my head. Sorry, I have to cross off 6 of them. And the answer is 4. For my next question, I'm going to use a 10 plus a number. So I'm going to have, 19. I'm going to have 19, and then I'm going to flip over a random card to see how many am I taking away. So my first number is 19, and I'm going to take away 5. If I flip my 9 around in my head, I can imagine covering up those 5 to take it away. And very quickly I can see 10 and 4 equals 14. If I was going to draw that, my equation would say 19 take away, do you remember what I was taking away? 5 equals 14. I have to draw 19, which means I need 2 10 frames for that. One is going to be full for this 10, and 9 more makes 19. So almost 2 full 10 frames. I'm going to take away 5, and again, I want to take away a full 5, so I'm going to take away this row with 5, and I can very easily see I have a full 10 and 4 more to make 14. Let's do that one more time, my friends. I'm using the cards to get my answer. I have a 7 plus a 5. Now I have to do some mental math to figure out what that answer is. I'm going to turn my 10 frame in my head and imagine if I took the 7 and I covered all the empty ones with part of my 5, I have a full 10 frame and 2 more. So my first number is 12. I'll write that down so I don't forget, because I had to do some math to get my answer. I've got 12 and I'm taking away 3. So again, I have to imagine, what does a 12 look like in a 10 frame? And it's right here. And then I can imagine, well, if I covered up 3 of them, I have a 10 frame with 1 missing. Oh, you can't really see that. Sorry, I have a 10 frame with 1 missing in the corner. So we know a 10 frame with 1 missing equals 9. So that means that 12 take away 3 equals 9. I can prove it with my picture by drawing 12 in my 10 frames. I need a 10 first and 2 more, and taking away 3 of them with nice big X's. Don't erase your 3 when you take them away, because you want to know what number goes here, and it's the number of X's that you made. Go ahead and create your own equations and try to draw them on 10 frames. Try to answer them in your head by imagining 10 frames. And if you were using playing cards, you would do the same thing. You would just need to find a 3, take away a 1, and you still have my question. You still would draw it in 10 frames and come up with the answer. You might have a 5, an 8, take away a 5, and of course I can't find an 8 very quickly. Let's see if I can find one in the next 3 seconds. What if my deck didn't have any 8s? Oh my goodness. That's so funny. There's one. My next question, I might draw the 2 cards 8 and 5. So 8, take away 5. I would still draw 8, take away the 5, and my answer would be 3. So that's how you can do that with regular cards. If you want 10 frames, they are posted on our class resources under yesterday's math, and there's also some under School Zone in the resources as well if you want to print off a set. Have a wonderful day doing math. Practice as many as you can. Write the equation, draw the picture, cross it off, use 10 frames so that you can start to make those mental pictures of the 10 frames to help you to do math in your head. Have a great day.